Hello everyone, my name is Marae. I live in Sioux City, Iowa, and I'm new to this, but we'll see how it goes. I have a feeling some people would like to hear my journey as I go through it myself. I am currently a 23-year-old stay-at-home mom due to having to leave my job. I used to work in vet med, and even if I didn't want to leave, I was going to have to. I currently have a 1-year-old son, but I ended up getting pregnant recently because I wanted a 2 under 2 situation. But God had different plans, evidently. I went to my OB appointment and soon found out that I am not pregnant with 1. I'm not pregnant with 2, not even 3. I have 4 babies. I'm having quadruplets, as you can see right there. So, I have a feeling that I might have a couple of people who might want to watch through my journey with me because it's definitely going to be a wild ride. It's nothing I expected to happen. I am a very rare case for Sioux City because they have not seen quadruplets in decades. And also, with that being said, I was not trying with any medications. We weren't trying through IVF either. This was all natural. So, my doctors are definitely having to do a lot of research because they haven't seen this in a long time, if ever. So, we'll see how it goes, and if you want to join me for my journey, I will do my best to keep it updated, as I am also currently trying to get my house packed up so we can move because we currently only live in a 1-bedroom home. And that is just not ideal for 5 babies now. So yeah, if you want to join me for my journey, we'll see how it goes. With that also being said, I will try my best to bring you guys along for the ride of having to try and get 3 more car seats, infant-wise, and then we would also need 1 more toddler-wise car seat because we already have 3 of those due to my mom and my mother-in-law helping with watching him. So we did currently already have those 3, but that also means I need to get a new vehicle. So I'll bring you along for that part as well. I currently drive a 2016 Jeep Limited, so that's definitely not big enough. I'm looking to probably get a little bit of a minivan or a Tahoe situation. I just want something that will be capable of fitting all of them, but also a good enough car for living in the Midwest due to snow, rain, and all that other type of fun stuff that happens around here. So, the sad part is, though, for me, I gave birth naturally with my son, and this time around I am going to have a C-section, which I myself am scared for. That's probably the part I'm most scared about, and I cannot deliver in Sioux City. I will have to go up to Omaha due to having more medical assistance up there with better care and all that other type of stuff. So we'll just see how this goes. I mean, I'm not ready for it, but I have to be. So at this rate, yeah. As you can tell, I have a little bit of anxiety, so I'm just trying to chat my way through it. I may stutter a bit and talk a little bit, but this is gonna be a wild ride, for sure.
Hi, my name's Dario, and I'm going to get unready while telling you guys how my abusive parents made my life a living hell. I'm gonna put these blowout rollers in while telling you guys a little bit about my junior year and how all of this shit started. Wait, okay, do these look like ball sacks though? Ooh. So basically, my junior year, me and my boyfriend, who I had been with for a year, were texting, and my parents were really prone to looking through my phone. That part's not the abusive part though. They were looking through it, they found some things that they were not so happy about, if you know what I mean. After that, my mom was like, I'm gonna tell your dad. And so they were like, well, you have to break up with him immediately, Like, done, done, done. Like, done. After that, of course, you know, I Hollywooded that shit. I faked it. I came home crying. Like, I had just been through the absolute worst breakup of my life. Devastated. Devastated. Even though we were supposedly broken up, my parents were like, well, since he already asked you to homecoming, which is like this little Texas tradition where you like go out with your friends, it's kind of like just like a hangout, like you like go out to eat or you like go to a beach house, whatever. So my mom was like, but you can only go with him if I'm the one driving you. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. I knew something was going to go down. It always goes down. We were in the car and she's here and she is lecturing my boyfriend. She is telling him how he is like basically a sexual pervert, like he's crazy, like how like he's so ungodly, and he's just sitting there in the car like taking it. He's just taking it straight. You know, after that, like Halloween's coming up and she's like, oh, what are you gonna do for Halloween? And I'm like, well, I'm just planning on going to a haunted house with my friends. Like, homecoming was supposed to be closure for me, like, I'm not going to hang out with my boyfriend anymore. After that, like, we're at Phobia, like, we're at this haunted house, we're having a good time, my mom doesn't know about anything, she doesn't know who's there. Everything's fine until we're on the way home, and my boyfriend's best friend decides to take a video of himself singing White Christmas. Which is fine, unless you send it in the group chat that I'm in, and then it saves to my camera roll that my parents go through. Because I get grounded all the time. And so what do you know? Dariel gets grounded after Halloween, phone gets taken, and she gets double grounded because mom finds video of my boyfriend in it and his friends. So I'm cooked. All of this info is background info and has led to me currently being homeless as of now. Follow for part 2. Get ready with me while I tell you how I became homeless, part 2. Recap, Halloween has just happened and my mom has figured out where I've been, and I just got double grounded. My mom and my dad are gonna use like the craziest methods of punishment, like medieval torture kind of punishment, to discipline me. I was already trying to get out because I was done with it. Like, I was 17 years of that and I was just done. I tried to report my own parents to CPS because I was fed up and I wanted out and I wanted to be somewhere safe. And so junior year, I like start actually telling people about this, even though this has happened for a really long time. Of course, I was really scared about this and like what my next move was because I genuinely had no idea what to do. I had no plan. But what I kind of started doing is, like, they told me I had no evidence, so I started gathering evidence, but I had nothing to use. Like, they had gone to me from my phone. Every single like electronic device I had was taken. And so I used my school laptop to try and get voice recordings of my parents admitting to abusing me. And of course, just like that and everything else, that went straight down the shitter. At this point, for my own safety and protection, I had been hiding my laptop so my parents couldn't find it, and since it was literally the only communication I had with my friends. Even my home phone had gotten taken. My parents knew I was telling people that stuff, obviously because of the CPS reporting, and so they tried to take all of my methods of communication so that way I couldn't tell people. So just like that with everything else, they found the laptop that I had been using to communicate with people and to take recordings of them basically admitting to abusing me. But the way they obtained my laptop is a different story. I had been hiding the laptop because them finding that would be kind of the end of the world. So you could say that shit, it backfired. My parents were obviously like, they burst into my room and they saw my laptop and they were like yelling at me to give it to them, and I was like, no, obviously because of what was on it that they didn't know about. In order for them to take the laptop from me, I may be tiny, but I can dabble in some wrestling. I was struggling to keep the laptop in my hands. 2v1, my dad, 260 pounds, and my mom. So I'm on my bed, quite literally being held down by my mom while my dad takes the laptop from me. Do keep in mind, this is all lore from my junior year, 2024, and all of the crazy shit that's happened recently that has led to me being homeless hasn't even been touched on. This video is just the lore leading up to my next video where I'll be talking about the process of me actually getting kicked out by my parents. Follow and like for part 3.
So I work at Starbucks and I just got off of my shift and I opened today and it's launch day for our holiday beverages, and as I'm sure everyone knows, we released these new bear cups, and as soon as I pulled into our parking lot, it was completely full of people. And we got out of our cars to go inside, and there was a line wrapped around the building of people waiting outside for these bear cups. When we unlocked the doors, the people in line said, "Do you guys have more bear cups? Like, we see them through the window. We've been staring at them, but we just want to know if you have more in stock." And we're like, "No, all we have is out there." And I was going to buy a bear cup, not because I wanted it, because I was going to buy it for my coworker who came in later that day, and she knew that they were going to be sold out, so I was going to get one for her for when she came in. So I walk over there to grab one of the bear cups. Every single person in the line outside was literally glaring at me, like basically foaming at the mouth like this. So my supervisor yelled at me and told me that I had to put the bear cup back because he was scared for my personal safety if one of these customers in line was going to fight me for this stupid bear cup. So I had to yell through the locked door, "I'm putting it back, everyone, relax," because they were literally glaring at me, like so pissed off that I even touched it. So I did not get a bear cup for my friend. But the second we unlocked the door, everyone ran inside and grabbed all of the bear cups. And we had people in the drive-thru line also waiting for like probably an hour for us to open. I don't even know, like they were there before me, before my shift started. And I was on DTO. So the guy whose order I took, he was like a grown man, by the way, fully grown adult man. He was like, "Do you have the bear cups?" And I said, "I'm sorry, there is a huge mob of people in our lobby right now. They are all surrounding our holiday merch. I can't even get in there." And he was like, "Well, I want you to grab it for me." And I was like, "Okay, I can try." So I run over there and I push through the mob of people to get this guy a freaking bear cup, and they're completely gone. So I told him, "I'm so sorry, everyone in the lobby grabbed one." And this man, grown man, starts yelling at me that he said, "Why did you guys take 30 minutes to open?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry?" And he goes, "You open at 4:30 and it's 5 now. You took 30 minutes to open." And which, by the way, not true. We, like, my face, you see how red my face is because of the shit I've had to deal with today. Anyway, we do not open at 4:30. The employees get there at 4:30 to set up. We open at 5. So I told him this, and he was like, "Well, online it says that you open at 4:30. And I looked online. It doesn't say that. It says we open at 5. So he must have been looking at the wrong location or just lying and trying to get in a fight because this grown man was upset that there were no more bear cups. So I was like, "Yeah, no, we open at 5. I'm sorry about the confusion." And he was so pissed off at me, and he was like, "You need to update that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll let someone know. Okay, thank you for that." And then every single car after him was asking if we had the bear cup in stock. Every single person. It took like about 10 or 15 people until someone actually ordered something, because I had to tell everyone in the drive-thru, "No, I'm sorry, we don't have a bear cup anymore. They sold out the second we opened the door." It's actually insane. And then all throughout the day, we have been getting calls nonstop. The phone has not stopped ringing all day for people asking for the bear cup and any of our holiday merch, because all of the people bought all of it. We have no holiday merch left. They bought every single thing. And we just got phone calls all fucking day about that stupid bear cup. And everyone who came inside and who came through the drive-thru asked for the bear cup. We had to tell everyone we don't have it. We started picking up the phone like if you're calling about the bear cup, it's sold out. And they'd be like, oh, okay, bye. Because that's what everyone was calling about. So please be nice to your baristas today, because we've had to deal with crazy people who are trying to get in fights over this bear cup. Literally, it's $30. It is not worth this. It's not. Also, just empty a jar of honey and put coffee in it. Like, it's basically the same thing. Honestly, I'm just mad at Starbucks for not stocking enough stores, because some people didn't get the cups at all. Like, we were lucky enough to, I think we had like probably 6 in stock, and that was it. But some stores didn't get any. Some stores only got like 2. And I keep seeing comments like, all the baristas bought them. We weren't allowed to even touch them. Like, I got yelled at by my supervisor for bringing one up to the register and looking at the price. So I don't know where that information has come from. And also, my personal opinion, obviously I'm a barista, but I feel like the baristas deserve it more than you guys. Like, we don't even get a discount on those. We don't get to use our partner discounts for those. And we work so hard, and we have to deal with you fucking crazy people. So if I see one more comment about that, like, I'm literally going to lose my mind. Consumerism is ruining America.
Okay, so this is a story about how I got a job at the beauty supply store, and me and the owner / boss ended up in court under some very crazy circumstances in regards to his actions. But let's get it. So this was about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere around there. Anyway, let's get to the point. So I used to frequent this beauty store all of the time because it was around the corner from my then home. And mind you, I already had a job at the time, and I was straight. But every single time I would go into this store, he would offer me a job, and I would always be like, no, that's okay. You know, I'm already working, whatever. So one day, I go in there like normal, getting my little lashes or whatever. And he was like, why don't you come work for me? You know, he's shorthanded, this and that. And I don't know, I guess I was feeling like 2 job shawty that day, because I was like, all right, let's do it. So I fill out the little paper application. I don't even think he looked at that shit, but I got hired on the spot. So I start coming to work, and this was the first sign that something was off about him. We got our paychecks, right? Mind you, the pay is very minimal, which is another reason why I didn't want to take on the job, because I didn't feel like it was worth my time. I got my paycheck, and he overpaid me like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I was not complaining. I did not question it. Who would? But that was the first thing I was like, all right, he's on some other shit, which I feel like I kind of already knew deep down. But boom, so that happens. I keep on working. And one day my phone got cracked, right? And he was like, oh, your phone's cracked, you know, whatever. So this was when the iPhone 11s had, I think it was 11s or 12s, had first came out, right? So he comes in and he buys me a brand new Pro Max. And it's like this olive green color. I think the man spent like $2,500 on it. I don't know. But I feel like this is where I went wrong. I accepted that gift. I accepted it. I knew. Okay, y'all, it is a whole new day. So back to where I was at. Where I feel like I went wrong was accepting that gift, because I tried to listen to him, and he was like on some shit where it's like, okay, well, I need to be able to reach you for work, and your phone's messed up, it's all cracked. So I tried to lie to myself and tell myself that he was just being a nice guy, but deep down I knew, and that's where I can take accountability. Like, I should not have accepted that. But I did not know at the time that this man was really, really, really sick in the head. So by me accepting that gift, in his head, it was like, she's mine. And yeah, so okay, y'all, we get back to work. I just start peeping this man doing like some really strange stuff. For example, he would go in the bathroom, take a big shit, then he would cook rice in the bathroom, and then he would eat the rice in the bathroom where he just took a shit. Literally the definition of shit where you eat. He was shit where he eat. That's rule number 1. But anyway, so y'all, yeah, that, and then he was like sleeping on a cot in the wig room, coming out head all messed up and shit. Just weird activities. Then he starts with that stuff where he's walking behind the counter trying to fake scrape up against me, rub up against me, like, oops, my bad. Nah, not your bad, you meant to do that. So y'all, let's get to the very weird shit. So one night, I'm at home chilling. For those of you who don't know, I sell products. I make them myself. I sell them. Okay, my neighbor always bought a specific product for me. She got off work late, 12:30 at night. I run outside to her car when she got home, sold her a product. This man starts blowing my phone up. Talk about the phone was smoking. And I didn't answer, of course. So he texts me, and in this text, it said, you cannot come back to work tomorrow because I just saw you sell something to describe my neighbor to a T. Described in a silver Honda Civic to a T, which meant this man was outside of my house, fuck that earring, watching me. He was outside of my house watching me. Mind you, he did not know where.
Get unready with me while I tell y'all about how the hours went leading up to me getting kicked out of my house. Me, my best friend, and my boyfriend were going to go see the Time Miners concert at the Pasadena Rodeo. Whenever you go to a concert and it starts later in the evening, you usually don't get back till late, and considering that this was a Saturday, I was going to have a hard time waking up for first service for church the next day. I still wanted to go to church, so I just decided to go to late service. Assuming y'all have watched my previous videos, you can assume that my parents are pretty crazy, so whenever they hear that I'm not waking up for the first service of church, they start getting mad. So I am literally in this room at 7:30 in the morning. I sleep through my alarm. Then all of a sudden, I start hearing this ding on my phone. So I couldn't wake up to my alarm, but I hear all these dings on my phone. I'm like, I know that ain't my alarm. What do you know? My mom. She's texting me and she's like, why aren't you at church right now? And she was like, you know you're supposed to go to church. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm still going to church. I'm just going to late service. That way I can sleep and I can still go to church. Just like every other fight I've had with my mom over text. She is yelling at me through the phone, telling me I had to come home right now, right then, on my way home, because I don't feel like getting torn a new ass by my mom, which was not able to be avoided. I still got torn a new ass. I get there and she's like yelling at me, and I was like, you know what? I do have free will. So I'm going to take my car and I'm going to sit in the church parking lot just to decompress. I'm sitting in the parking lot even though this is completely unrelated. There's this guy next to me and I can see him and his car's not starting. And I help him jump his car. Keep in mind, I've already been having a hectic morning, but you know what? I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Everything's good, you know? Like, I go to church, turn my phone on silent. Like, I'm not bothered by my texts. My mom ain't gonna show up to church, that's for sure. But she will show up to Starbucks after a church. So I go to Starbucks after church. I see her sitting in the parking lot. She's banging on the window, kind of like yelling at me to show her who's on the phone with me. I show her, it's literally my father. I was just on the phone with my dad, kind of venting to him about how my mom's crazy, which doesn't make any sense because he is equally as crazy. So after my mom decides she's done banging on the window of my car. I go home and she goes to work. I invite my friend over, which is probably a stupid idea considering my parents were already mad, but I wanted something to just get my mind off of what I'd just been through. I invite my best friend over and we're making mums for homecoming. It gets later in the evening and my mom comes home from work. She sees me in there making my mom and my friend there, and somehow this makes her very angry. Now this is when shit started going down. My mom was throwing Amazon packages everywhere because she was so angry that I was doing nothing pretty much, I guess preparing for homecoming, God forbid. She started yelling at me and I was like, I take it like usual, like I'm used to this. This is just an everyday phenomenon for me. This is what I'm not okay with. She starts yelling at my friend, telling her how she's a bad influence on me. She's the reason that I'm like becoming a bad kid. I don't really know what I did, but apparently I was terrible for going out 2 days in a row. By going out, I mean going to a concert, then staying in the next day with my friends. And of course, that's whenever I step in and I'm like, look, you can talk shit to me, you can talk shit to my face, but you will not talk to my best friend like that. Ever. I tell her this and then she starts getting in my face, pointing at me, getting really aggressive, and I was like, I would move back if I were you, I'm not trying to get into anything physical. And she starts grabbing me and holding me and trying to yell in my face. My best friend's here. She's the first person, God bless her soul, to see all of this happen to me. None of my friends have, not my boyfriend, not anybody at this time, not even my own family. So when she goes home after this, she tells her mom obviously everything that's happened. They're genuinely concerned about my safety, and so they call in for a welfare check. While waiting on the police to get there, her mom, my best friend's mom, is calling my mom and she's asking her if I'm okay. Not trying to start anything, just asking if I'm okay. And what my mom starts going off about is saying how my best friend's mom is a bad Catholic. She's a bad Christian. She doesn't know how to raise her child, even though she just called to check up on me, making sure that I'm safe. Then the police show up. Like and follow to hear about how I never came home after that.
Hey guys, it's Riley back in the bang video. Story time about how my best friend at the time snuck out of my house to meet up with my ex. Okay, a little bit of background information. Me and this girl met in around March. This situation happened April, a year later. So at this point our friendship was kind of lengthy, but not really. Okay, whatever. And okay, so she was a new student at my school. We're gonna call her Ego. And I was very, very friendly. I was known for talking to a lot of new people, making new friends. So when Ego came to my school and she was in my class and had most of my classes together, naturally we just became friends. So me and this girl clicked just like that, and I'm a pretty likable person, so it was easy for us to get really close. And within 2 weeks of her going to my school, I literally got her talking stage just like that, and it was my boyfriend at the time's one of his good friends. So it was a perfect two-man. This is the two-man before real two-men. We had a little school two-man. It was just cute. But that bitch messed it up. Okay, so fast forward about a year later, in this time, me and this girl had sleepovers, football games together, go to get air together, went to functions together, grew up together, we have actual friendship. And then for a little bit, we didn't talk as much, because her and this other girl started getting really close, and it kind of seemed like that was, more her type of friend, so I was, okay with it. Eventually, we had a class together again the next year later, and we started to get our friendship back. So obviously, I'm okay, bet, I miss you, you miss me, whatever, let's have a sleepover. So boom, she comes over to my house, we have a sleepover, we're hosting your favorite deals back reunited, because everybody knew that we used to be really, really close friends. Everything is cool, everything is fine. It comes around let's say 8 or 9 o'clock, and it's getting kind of dark outside. Me and her decide we want to sneak out of the house, but just go outside and walk around the neighborhood. So me and her are just walking around the neighborhood. At this time it's pretty cold outside, so we didn't stay out there too long. I think we went to the park that's up the street, but we quickly came back home. Okay, so if you remember the boyfriend from a year earlier, obviously this is middle school, so in that time, not a boyfriend anymore, more an ex, more an op, whatever you want to call it. And he lived in the same neighborhood as me, but the whole other side of the neighborhood, if you will, so close, but not really close. Anyways, me and Echo had came back home from being outside and thinking we were so turned in the darkness, in the cold, with no jackets on. Sorry, but after all that, we came back home and she's like, oh, I think we should go to the gas station. We should really go to the gas station. I was like, hey, I wish you would have had this idea when we were already outside and now we're back inside. So I'm like, all right, let's go to the gas station. So I had 2 gas stations by my house, driving distance by my house. There was one that's down this hill right there, 8-minute walk, not that bad. There's another one that's probably a 4-minute drive, but way longer walk. And it's this way up the hill around the corner in the neighborhoods. It's far. And she's like, yes, let's go to the gas station. Let's go to the gas station. And I'm I go, 1, it's getting late. 2, it's cold outside. 3, why do you want to go to that gas station? It's the whole other side of my neighborhood. And she's like, oh, maybe I can just go. Maybe I can just go. I'm not a good idea. We also were both good friends with these twins that kind of lived in my neighborhood. So she's like, oh, how about we go to twin number 1 and twin number 2's house? Like, let's go see them. I'm like, I wish you would have had these ideas like way early on, because why do you want to do all this stuff now? All of a sudden, we just got back in the house more. Like, so she just like keeps saying like, please, like, let's go to them. Like, let's have fun. Let's be with twin number 1, twin number 2. I'm like, why? And then when she realized I'm really not trying to go, she's like, okay, like, let me just go by myself. Like, she didn't know my neighborhood enough to like walk around my streets by herself. Mind you, at this time I'm a little scaredy, so us walking around my neighborhood singing out, that's cool, but like, I'm not with the whole really making moves. Like, not at this time. I'm still in that lane, you know. So she realized I'm really not going, and she's like, alright, like, it's fine, I'll go myself. I'm like, you better stay your butt in my house. Like, if you really leave me, I'm really cussing you on the phone. So, boom, I'm on the phone with this other boy. We on the phone with my friend here. She on the phone with somebody. You know, like, we mix and mingle. We on Omegle. You know, doing fun sleepover stuff. She get over to the gas station twins house thing, you know. So I'm like, all right, cool. We finna go to sleep, you know. So I'm on the phone with this boy. I fall asleep on the phone with this boy. I wake up. Echo's gone. So not only is Echo gone, but at this point it's like 3 or 4 a.m. Mind you, this is like a school night, but like we didn't have school that Monday, so my parents are getting up from work. My parents get up at like 5 a.m. So immediately when I wake up and I realize Echo's gone, I start blowing up her phone. I'm like, where are you at? Mind you, Echo has a broken ass phone, bro. So not only is she D&D warrior, already takes too long to respond, her phone like half works. So I'm like, I don't even know if she really getting these messages, bro. So I'm quick thinking, I'm like, bro, wait, what if my mom wakes up, come downstairs right now? Where am I gonna say she's at? So first of all, if she come downstairs right now, I'm gonna be like, I don't know where she went, she just left, because that was really the truth. But I also thought I was like, okay, let me go close my basement bathroom so it looks like if they don't see her in here with me, she in the bathroom. You feel me? So some time passed, I'm blowing up my friend's phone, and I'm on the phone with this boy. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do. Like, Echo just left. He thinks shit a joke. This shit's not funny. I'm blowing up her phone. She finally answering, and then she texts him playing like she's scared. She like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, yo, what's wrong? She acting like she crying. She's like, bro, I'm crying. It's cold. I'm trying to get back to your house. You want to go to the fucking gas station? That bad bitch. I should have been knew something was up. But then, at this point, it's like 5 a.m. I'm hearing my parents flushing the toilets, you know, getting up. I'm like, shit, bro, fuck, like, my ass is grassy. So she texts me, she like, I'm almost there, I'm in your neighborhood, sending me snaps. I could see the houses that she's at, and I'm like, that's close if we in a car, maybe on a fucking bike, but if you on your 2 legs, she's far as hell. So I'm getting scared. I'm like, bro, like, I'm really cooked. I really let this girl, like, sneak out of my house, and my ass is grass. Alright, so then, boom, boom, boom. I hear my mom come downstairs. Oh, shit. My ass is grass. To go take my sister to work, and she realizes that our garage door is open. Really, like, the garage door is open. That's the door. Echo left. You feel me? So I'm panicking. She's like, where's your friend? I was like, she's in the bathroom. Remember, my smart ass closed that bathroom door. But, she's, like, scared. I don't think somebody, like, trying to break in our house. And I was like, no, me and I didn't mean to say her name. Oh, me and Ego, like, we left the door open yesterday when we went outside. Because my mom knew we went outside. I felt like we was sneaking out, but she knew. It was just dark, so I felt like a baddie. Okay, sorry. So then, my mama leave to take my sister to work. So my sister's work is pretty close, and it's also in the same direction that my friend was coming from. So I'm texting my friend, like, my mom just left to get my sister to go to work. You better hope she don't see your ass walking in the street. So now my friend, like, people's fucking backyards trying to get to my house, making shit 10 times worse with her broken ass fucking phone. Like, I'm a pretty good kid. Like, this time I don't get into much trouble. So this was just really, like, out of my, like, branding. So Echo texts me, I'm here. I'm walking into my garage to get her out of, like, the back door. The garage door open. The garage door, like, the door for the cars pull in. My mom pull up. So she come into the garage, she see me laying the girl back in. She like, why y'all outside? It's 6 a.m. I was like, oh, you know, we was just playing hide and seek. Anyways, but I'm like, you know, we was just playing hide and seek. And then, she's like, oh, ha, you guys the only people I know play hide and seek 6 a.m. in the morning. And we're like, yeah. So then me and her go back into my room. She crying in my arms and she like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I shouldn't have went. This bitch ain't come back with no snacks. How the fuck you going to the gas station and seeing the twins and you don't even got no fucking snacks for me, and I just did all that for your ass? She crying in my arms. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me spend another extra day. Let me make it up to you. So my dumb ass, I'm letting her cry in my arms. It's okay. Don't do it ever again. It's okay. We ended up making Starbucks at home. Act like shit sweet. Alright, so then fast forward a couple months later. Me and this girl had ended up getting into it. We had gotten into it, something completely different, completely unrelated. the girl that, like, she used to be good friends with was telling me, she was like, yeah, you remember that one time when Echo was over your house and she left your house and said she was going to the twins' house and getting something from the gas station? Yeah, she was actually at, you know, your ex's house, and that's why it took her so long, and that's really where she was at, because, you know, he lives in her neighborhood, and he really wanted to see her. So I had confronted the boy. He claimed it didn't happen, and when I said something to the Echo, she was like, oh, that was a few months ago, why are you bringing that up now? And then a couple weeks later, they started dating, so... And apparently, like, a lot of people knew about it. Like, I remember I was, like, telling this girl, I was like, yeah, someone I just found out, like, a couple months ago, she left to my house to go to the, so-and-so's house, and she was like, oh, yeah, he told me about that. Most people with big-ass mouths knew, and I still didn't find out. Like, I promise you, like, I'm never letting some shit get that far ever again in my fucking life. Alright, y'all, that's my story time. Thanks for watching.
Also, I don't know.
Alright, get ready with me while I talk about things my ex did, and I still stayed. Just a little disclaimer, this is all alleged. I'm not really sure what I can and can't say, so just keep that in mind. I'm not going to go in any particular order, I'm just going to go off my head. So, starting off nice and strong, he was in a frat. He gets blackout drunk every Thursday at the bar, underage. I'm, like, never the type to go through a guy's phone, but one time he was like, oh, I can order your Uber home for you. I'm like, okay. So I go to grab his phone. It's, like, sitting in his room, and we're on the couch. And I grab his phone, and I see there's a Tinder notification. And so I give him his phone back, and I don't say anything. But, like, when he unlocks it, I, like, swipe down. I'm like, oh, it's this. And, like, I just figure there's, like, a reasonable explanation. And he's like, oh, I don't use Tinder anymore. And his roommate who's sitting on the couch next to us is like, yeah, like, he doesn't use it. I found out through TikTok the other day that your account, like, doesn't get active anymore. If you don't use it for, like, a month or so, it's, like, inactive. So he shouldn't have been receiving any notifications. So he was on Tinder. He never posted me. Meanwhile, he was blasted all over my TikTok, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my public profile. I had a whole separate thing for him. And, he doesn't have a public profile, so it's fine. But maybe if he did have a public profile and he had me on his public profile, he wouldn't have been cheating with me with all these Snapchat girls, so. He would call me a whore and a slut and say that I'm looking for male validation basically every single day. Yeah. After I got my belly button pierced, like, a month or two ago, he told me I was a slut for that, and I just wanted to look like a whore and embarrass him. And then I would ask him, I would say, do you want me to take it out? I'll take out the piercing, because it was just so constant. I was so sick of it. And he was like, no, like, I would never make you take out something that you like. Like, you really like the piercing, so you don't have to take it out. And then he would call me a whore 5 minutes later. He was a fucking liar. He told me I was the most beautiful girl in the world, and he loved only me, and he had eyes for only me. Then I found out he was texting other girls on Snapchat. The exact same thing. The exact same thing. One time, he called me blacked out drunk and proceeded to verbally, whatever, yell at me. I don't want to use any buzzwords, but he proceeded to yell at me for 15 minutes, and within the last 5 minutes of the call, I decided to start writing down what he was saying, just so I could bring it up to him in the morning and go over what he was saying. And he proceeded to call me the N-word multiple times and also the F slur, so he's white. And straight, possibly. He told me that he was a Roman Christian, or he had, like, his family was Christian, and then when I opened up to him about my faith, he proceeded to tell me that I was an idiot for believing in God, because God isn't real. Every single time, without fail, that he would go out and he'd go to the bars, or he'd go to, like, a party, or, like, whatever it was, he would block me. He would block me on Snapchat, sometimes on messages, it was usually Snapchat, though. He would either unadd me or he'd block me. And in the morning, he would add me back and he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I shouldn't have done that. And I was like, why did you do that? And he's like, you pissed me off in some way. And he'd make up some bullshit excuse. I went to Westchester for Halloween, and I recorded a video of me and my friends in a frat, and some guy walked past me. I wasn't even, like, anywhere close to him, but he just happened to walk past me, and he blocked me because of that. Because he thought I was with a guy. Meanwhile, he was fucking cheating on me the whole relationship. He's broke. I would pay for a lot. He doesn't have his car on campus, and neither do I, and he goes to a different school, so I would pay for Ubers there and back multiple times a week, and then he would get mad at me when I couldn't hang out with him every single day. I just don't have the funds to go there every single day, nor the time. And then he would use that against me and say that I don't want to hang out with him and I don't want to spend time with him. But I can't afford $20 multiple times, like, every single time I go over there. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have $60 a week to spend. I just change the lights. Oops. I would go to the frat parties with him, and there was one time that I was, like, not in the right headspace, if you will. And I was just kind of going around, like, running around talking to, like, all these different people, all these different girls, mind you, girls. Because if I even so looked as a man, I was cheating on him. Kind of ironic. But I was going up to all these different girls, like, talking to all these different girls. And, like, the next day, like, we were just talking, whatever. And he's like, yeah, like, me and my friend were, like, watching you, like, run around, like, I had this chicken. And we were just trying to see what guy you were going to cheat on me with. He was cheating on me the whole relationship. Okay, this one is kind of insane. So, I was at his apartment, and my mom called me and told me that a close family friend of mine passed away. And, like, I was happy that I was there when it happened. And I was, like, I just wanted him to, like, comfort me. And so I was just crying. And I was expecting him to, like, hug me. Like, just, like, be like, oh, I'm so sorry, Emma. Like, it'll all be okay. Like, stuff like that. He kind of got mad at me for, like, crying and being upset. And asked me if I, like, wanted to leave. And when I was like, why? Like, there's no one else I would rather be with right now. He's like, well, I don't really know how to deal with death. So, yeah. I think the funniest part about that whole story is the following week when I went home for the funeral. While I was at said funeral, he was snapping and receiving explicit images and videos from a random girl. I'm not going to get too in-depth with this one just for a variety of reasons, but basically I opened up to him about my family and my dad and stuff, and he proceeded to fuck me over in a similar way that my dad fucked over my mom. And then when I felt uncomfortable and wanted to leave, he tried to drive me back to my dorm and crashed the car. That last clip is alleged, by the way. He and his roommates and the guys in his frat have a problem, and they're all addicted to street. And one of his roommates would make jokes about me getting on substances like that. And each time I politely declined, but they always told me how much it helped them and how great it was. This one's kind of a story time in itself, but basically we're at a party, this whole thing happens, he blacks out, he runs away. Oh my god, wait. He would be like a literal child when he would black out. He like ran away, he would scream at me, he'd push me, and all my friends saw this. It was just so embarrassing for me. Like, Vogue was right, having a boyfriend's embarrassing. Because how are you going to scream at me, call me a whore, call me a slut, say F you to my face, push me, shove me in front of all my friends at a party, and then, like, not even take accountability for it. So that was bad. But at the same party, basically, some guy, like, saw this all happening, and he pulls me aside, and he's like, yeah, like, your relationship's not healthy. I'm like, probably isn't, but anyway, go ahead. And he's telling me that, yeah, like, he's been cheating on you the whole time, like, he's not, like, loyal to you, like, you haven't done anything to deserve this, like, Emma, you're too nice for this. I'm not gonna say break up with him, but, like, your relationship's not healthy. I'm like, no, like, it's fine, like, I really like him. And then he starts pulling conversations that only me and my ex had. So he would say something, and he'd be like, oh yeah, your ex told me this because you said this. And it's like, how else would he know this unless my ex told him? So then the following day when I confronted my ex about it, he's like, no, like, he's lying, he was blacked out, he doesn't remember saying any of this, like, he's not telling the truth. And then they had me sit in a room with about maybe 8 different guys in the frat, including my ex, and the kid who told me all this, was like, yeah, like, Emma, like, I'm sorry, like, it's not true, like, Emma, I'm so sorry. Like, he said it like I'm mocking him, I guess, or, like, imitating him. He's like, Emma, I'm sorry, like, it's not true. It was all true, and so I guess they told him to tell me it was a lie. And I should have known because there was like things he was saying that like only me and my ex would have only my ex would have known. So I don't really understand like what I was thinking, but I'm just an idiot. I was showing him a Halloween costume that one of my friends wore. Like, I was just, like, going through Instagram because I always let him look at my phone, like, it didn't matter to me. And I was on Instagram, I'm like, wow, like, she looks so pretty. And he said, yeah, she's a butterface. Like, her body's pretty, but, like, her face is, like, so ugly. Why are you saying this? I'm, like, almost out of time, but, like, he would say if I do my hair, it looks ugly. If I curled it, if I straightened it, if I braided it, it looked ugly. He told me if I self-tan, I look ugly. He told me my acne is ugly. He told me if I dyed my hair darker, it was ugly. To wrap this all up, basically, I'm an idiot, and when I go home this weekend, I'm dyeing my hair darker, and I'm gonna curl it and do what I want, because I'm happy now, and I'm free. But yeah, that is all alleged. Yeah, bye.
Give me the menu.
Hey you guys, I'm Baleen. Everyone calls me B or Bay. I'm going to tell you a story about how I found out that the person I was dating was actually the person who anonymously stalked and harassed me for 3 years. Buckle up. I do want to provide you guys with some context that matter while I am telling this story. So let's start with a couple of things. All of my degrees are in liberal arts fields. Okay, my first degree was in journalism and mass communication. Second degree, communication. Third degree was in professional communication and digital media. Okay, just gonna put that out there. Okay, my ex major was in computer science, technology, whatever the case may be. So, very tech person with a very artsy person. It happens. It's very common, actually. I was 18, 19 when everything started. So I was very young. All I wanted to do was have fun. I had a sense of freedom and I wanted to take control of that. Okay? Let's paint that. I'm not saying I got around, but you might as well call me the Metro Bus because I had stops everywhere. Okay? At the time I was in Florida. Okay? And I am and will always be a daddy's girl. All this information is very important when I start to tell this story. So let's begin. Okay, so we met my second or third semester in undergrad. We had an English class together. We're going to call him Brian. We're going to give him a brand new name. We're going to call him Brian. Okay? Brian and I were in an English class together, and he came to me and asked for my phone number because he was going out of state with family to New York, and he wanted to make sure that he did not miss or needed to make up any assignments, basically. And I'm like, I mean, sure. You're kind of cute anyway. So yeah, let's do that. We exchanged numbers. A week and a half later, he reaches out and he says, hey, what did I miss? What's due? So I gave him all the information. Now, all that started a relationship that wasn't really a relationship because I was just young, trying to have fun. I mean, our first time was in the back of his mama's car. Okay. I'm just gonna paint that picture. It wasn't something that was serious, but it was serious enough that we were, like we liked each other. Okay. Then my last semester approached and we ended things cordially, I think. Maybe I'm misinterpreting how it ended, but I think it ended cordially. So I got my associate's degree and I went to another school, university. Very common in Florida. That's exactly what I did. Okay. So my first semester at this new university, I was dating somebody new. It did not work. He cheated. That's most men in Miami. Okay. And so winter 2015, obviously I stay on campus. I stay at my dorm and I'm just going through my Rolodex. I'm like, it's cold out here. Not really. It's Florida. But I'm like, I need somebody to, So I arranged a little rendezvous with this one person. It was very nice. Very, very exactly what I needed. Now, winter break was about 2-3 weeks. On the third week, Brian and I connected again. Okay. We connected, stayed over. I had left to go use the restroom. My phone was left. I came back and we chilled for a little bit more and he left. So I'm like, oh, okay, that was nice. Honest to goodness, I did not expect to see Brian ever again. Okay, did not. 2016, spring 2016, I bump into Brian. Okay, I'm walking to class and I see him and I'm like, what are you doing here? It's like, I go here. It's like, they don't really have a good computer science, technology, whatever program. But I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, like, that's cool. A couple weeks after that, him and I are texting on and off. A couple weeks after that, I started getting weird messages on Twitter, like mentions and replies on Twitter, on top of a weird question. So back in those days, we used to have Ask FM. So people would ask anonymous questions and it was linked to your Twitter account. And so whenever you answer them, it would go straight. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People who are old enough, y'all know what I'm talking about. After those messages started, then the text messages to my phone started. Now that was an issue for me. Initially, I thought, whatever, nothing of it. I'm still out having fun, okay? I am young, dumb, and using protection, not full of cum, okay? Be smart, y'all. Be smart, be smart, be smart. So the Twitter messages started getting worse. So I started blocking these accounts on Twitter. Then the messages on Ask FM were getting worse. And so I stopped using Ask FM. I'm like, I'm not about to make this person have access to me. At this point, the messages to my phone are getting a little bit worse. And the messages in nature are things like, you're a whore, you're a slut, or why you let that man come to your crib. I'm like, how do you know these things? This is very freaking weird. Oh, I saw you at blank. Like, it was just too much, okay? Then the messages started on GroupMe. And this is where I literally started losing my shit. Every time I would leave a place, I would get a text message. Every time someone would leave me, my little Rolodex, I would get a message that this person was talking about me in a GroupMe. And I would have screenshots sent to me. It's like, this is the type of person you want to be with. Really sowing seeds of doubt and mistrust that I would be texting these people and be cussing them out. Like, you ain't shit, you trash, because I'm believing this anonymous number only because I don't know who the fuck is doing it. Now, I initially thought it was the person I had that rendezvous with, because now at this point, this person was sending pictures, my pictures, to almost everybody in my GroupMe contacts. Okay? I was so embarrassed, ashamed, fucking terrified, confused. Like, so many things were going in my head. So I said, fuck this. I'm filing a police report. I go to the police on campus and I told them someone is harassing me. I don't know who it is. I'm getting these text messages. I'm getting these messages on Twitter. I screenshotted everything and I presented the case to the police officer. They took everything, they created a case, but they could not do anything because there was no one to press charges on. I said, I could give you my phone. Please, is there anything you can do for me? Please, just anything. No, there was nothing. I was at my absolute lowest. I was so depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't even want to leave my fucking dorm. And at my absolute lowest, guess who fucking texted me? Brian. Brian texts me, and I'm like, this guy's a good guy. Like, this is a miracle. So he reaches out to me, he's talking to me, and he's being sweet. Like, oh my gosh. That's when it all starts.
Okay, kind of part 3 of my boss trying to kick me out for my 4 weeks. Not a lot has happened since I made my first 2 videos. Me and her actually haven't talked. She's not speaking to me. So, yeah. But I'm just going to be showing the videos that I do have. I did record the last 30-ish minutes of mine and hers first conversation on November 13th. It is really long, so I'm going to be giving you guys bits and pieces of the most, like, important parts. And then I do have a video of me talking to her husband. It's just about the overtime pay. And so that's pretty short. And I mean, it's like a 7-minute long video, but I'm still gonna cut it. I'm not giving you guys the full video because half of it is just talking about him offering to help me find a new job. So we don't need to go over that. But yeah, so sorry if the audio sucks. Give me some grace. I was under pressure, but yeah.
I need, like, you're learning about your capabilities. I do have to have somebody who can help with dinner because I just can't work full time and make dinner every day. It's just like not possible. And have 3 kids. So I mean, like, I totally get that, and I'm so willing to, like, help. I just didn't think it was going to be as much as I am doing. Okay. From what I remember, maybe you remember something else, but from what I remember from the interviewing process, it was like, do you know how to cook? And I was like, I mean, it's not like I don't know anything, but, like, I mean, my whole life, like, I make top ramen and scrambled eggs and, like, peanut butter toast, like, and then any kitchen experience I really have is, like, helping my mom with dinner, stuff like that. And then you're like, well, I remember it being like, yeah, we'll work on that, that's totally fine, we'll just need help if you, like, every now and then. So that's what I was expecting, so I think that's why I got burnt out. But, like, and just because I was really going off of, I was like prepping to come here, I was really, like, reading the contract and expecting what was going on in the contract. And I think it's just been more than that, which is fine. But I just wanted to go over that and see if we want to change some things. Like, if I am working, like, if I'm up at 7 and I take the boys in, I'm technically off at 4 or 5 when both of you guys get home, but then I'm cooking dinner and still with kids and stuff and helping with bath time and stuff like that, then the time that I could, like, leave, because I feel really bad just leaving you guys. No, you should leave. I feel really bad. I think we just need to delineate when we get home you're done. And so that does mean you're going to have to plan if it is a dinner night, and you're going to have to make it early.
So in that, basically is just talking about the amount of cooking that I've been doing, and the time it takes to cook. She basically just swept it under the rug, said if you don't have time and want to be off earlier, you need to make dinner during the day, which she didn't get my point, because earlier in the video I also mentioned, not in this video, but the full-on video, I mentioned that it's just time consuming and I would like my time. I would like to be off. I would like to just be. And yeah, so she's like, we'll make it earlier during the day, and she offered to give me about 10 recipes to practice and learn so I can get really good at them, so I can make them faster, so I can leave, stuff like that. But yeah, and so I'm still cooking every single night, doesn't matter, whatever. So that's that. Oh, and to also add, she says she just can't cook because she's a full-time doctor. She's a doctor, and so is her husband. Just to add that in there. They are very wealthy people. Just to go back to you're expensive and the overtime pay and all that. They're very, very rich people. But anyways, back on track. She says she can't cook because she's a full-time doctor and she has 3 kids. That's just unrealistic. when I very first started, she was cooking dinner. She would come home and cook dinner. And I made dinner once. I offered to make them dinner, the only dish that I know how to make, like, by heart, because my mom and I made it all the time. It was my favorite dish. I offered to make that. She figured out I knew how to cook the tiniest bit. That's all I know how to cook. She's like, oh, our new personal chef. Also, I'm back in the QT parking lot. Ignore it. So, yeah. Okay, also keep in mind, she's talking kindly, okay? Except there's no real emotion behind her words and no actual listening. She's not listening to listen to me and try and fix a problem. She's listening because it's what she has to do. She doesn't care that I'm cooking every night. She doesn't. She doesn't care that I'm tired. She's just saying, well, sucks. But yeah. And also keep in mind, I'm terrified of this woman. Not terrified for my life. Like, I'm not scared she's gonna hurt me or anything. But she's looking at me. Yeah. Ah! No! Don't look at me like that. Especially when I'm being, like, I feel like I was being kind and understanding. And also, don't come at me for saying that's fine or yeah, I understand, because again, I'm terrified. Okay, so this next video that I'm going to show is me talking to the husband. My phone was in my pocket, so his audio is a little quiet, so you're going to have to listen carefully. I can put text over it as well. But yeah, was a crazy conversation just because he acted clueless, and also I got basically what she told him out of our conversation. So yeah, keep that in mind.
I'm gonna, if you guys need to go on any extra dates or anything,
Need money?
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Well, it's like, I mean, me and I talked about it a little bit when we first had that very first talk that you weren't a part of.
What talk?
Like, mid-November. She told me you guys talked and agreed on everything.
On what?
When I asked about, like, the performance review and also just going over a few things on my end, she told me she told you everything.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't know if she did or not, that's all good, but...
Probably. Was there anything specific? I don't remember anything particularly dramatic. I thought she said it was a good job. You were doing a great job.
Yeah, no, it wasn't dramatic at all. But, I just went over the contract and I saw that there was the overtime pay that I think we all just didn't remember, forgot about, which is totally fine. But for the few months that I was doing a lot of nights that were like till like 7:30 till like bath time and bedtime, she was saying that I could get that.
Yeah, you're talking about when not here. When it was, is that what you're talking about?
No, when she was here too. Like when you guys were home and I was still helping with bath time and stuff after dinner and everything.
Okay.
And then I would like go and do whatever, we'd watch a movie and stuff.
Yeah.
But she said at that point that I would get that, but also it's like not that crazy big of an issue. But
do you know how much it is?
I don't. That's the problem. Just because it was like, yeah, just because it was for. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was for a few months. And it was like that. Just because I didn't have any friends, like I didn't have anywhere to be after 7, and I mean, like I was totally fine just like doing that. But I mean, I think we all just collectively forgot that that was even there. Like I didn't know until I checked again.
Right.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm looking at spare jobs. Like I've been thinking of door dashing. That just costs gas.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that to just like keep stacking up as much money as possible so I can stay out here.
I can definitely try and do some dates at least.
Okay, switch locations. I'm currently in the McDonald's drive-thru because I'm starving. Ignore that. But I think the talk went overall pretty good. When he said what talk in the beginning, my heart dropped. I was terrified. But he got it, so okay. But any bleeps you hear, not bleeps, cuts in the audio you hear are their names, the wife's and their baby's name, because I'm not telling you your guys. I'm not telling you guys their names, just because I want to protect that, just in case something bad were to happen, like to me, you know, like I don't want to get in trouble. And I won't say it not until I'm at least out of the house, like completely. But yeah, so when he says when was not here, he's talking about the baby, because the wife was going to and from Charleston. Oh, 1 second, I gotta pay. Just kidding. So, sorry. So the wife was going to and from Charleston to complete her residency in Charleston. And so she was in Charleston for 3 days out of the week. During that time, she would take the baby and leave it at their in-laws' house. Just because it was my first month, they were trying to give me a break. And so our deal was that because I'm off during the day, obviously I'm not with their baby, I would help at night, which I totally agreed to, whatever. In our original talk, me and the wife, I brought up the overtime pay and just overall my hours in general, going from that point when I very first started to when the baby was in Charleston to now. And I don't know what she was thinking, but I do. She was thinking that I was saying I deserve overtime pay for that time. So she was saying, no, you were off during the day, you didn't have the baby, you're helping at night, that's what you agreed to. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, I know that's not what I'm talking about. I think that she went to him and only said that. I think she said that I think I deserve overtime pay for that time period, which was not what I was saying at all when I talked to her. Okay, now to go over to what she said about my expenses, of how she paid for my car, paid for this, paid for that, all that stuff.
So I just wanted to go over, I have all this written out. Let's go over just kind of like, because I feel like sometimes au pairs or live-in nannies, I just want you to fully appreciate all the cost, like not costs
absolutely.
that you don't cost. I mean, I don't look at you as like a cost. I look at you as part of the family, but I feel like sometimes au pairs or nannies think like, oh, I don't get paid very much, but then I want to just go over all the expenses, so just so we're clear and on the same page. So basically, you're living with us, so that's rent that you're not having to pay, which is at least $12,000 a year. Because you were a brand new driver, your car insurance is $4,000 a year. The car was $20,000, but that's not something that's an investment for multiple years. If you were having to rent a car or lease a car, at the very minimum, we're looking at $5,000 a year. That also doesn't include maintenance on the car that we have to do, which, by the way, I actually need to see if your car needs. Are you getting any kind of lights or anything that tell you it's due for maintenance?
The pressure light, but we filled that up. I haven't been in my car today, so I can check today.
But you will
if
need
that's
oil
still on.
changes too. So I don't know if the car is going to alert you, but we will make sure we are getting it. So that's another expense. All the oil changes. Paying for your gas, which you pay for your own gas beyond driving the boys to school, but that's still an expense that we're paying on that car. And the maintenance, and then not having you pay taxes. I mean, that's the value plus the $20,000 of income. And that's like, if you add up the rent, the car insurance, the maintenance on the car, the food and room and board and everything, and then the travel and everything, that's like $75,000 a year for us. So I just don't want you to think. I think it's easy to, again, because I'm in this au pair group, that group where we met in on Facebook, you kind of like see everything that people talk about. I don't want you to feel like I don't want you to feel underpaid. I just want you to feel the full value of. There's a lot of expenses that we pay, like your car insurance and all of that.
Absolutely.
And that, we built that room for kids. And so, so I do want you to communicate with how you're feeling about that, but from our end, and like the Disney tickets and the Universal tickets, that was $1,000 for you, and then I'm still going to pay you to work that week. So all those kinds of things, I feel like you probably appreciate all of that.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to circle back on that, and it is,
absolutely.
The car insurance is very expensive that we pay every month. The car was expensive. The gas is expensive. Everything is expensive these days, and so the reason you make less than a nanny is because you live with us. Absolutely. And, you know, I think at a certain point, I have to leave in a second, sorry. I'm just watching. I have to actually go right now, but it says I'm gonna be there at 10:03. But, you know, in the future, I'm not opposed if you're like, I want to be paid more than I'm making and I want to be paid like a nanny, we can open the door to that, but that would mean like you have to find your own place to live and have your own car and all those things. So there, it is like
it's not even about the pay. Honestly, it's about the time.
So yeah, she tells me she doesn't see me as a cost or anything like that. Proceeds to tell me all the things that she told me she would pay for that came with the job. Like, and the thing is, I didn't even ask for a raise. That wasn't the point of me coming to her to have this conversation. It really was my time off and talking about the overtime pay, because I'm working so much, I don't have time off, and I'm not getting overtime pay because of the hours that I'm working. So that is the main conversation that I wanted to have with her. And she brought up if I wanted to get paid more, which was not what I brought up, because I mean, I do have the car that they gave me. I am living rent free. I don't mind the pay, and it is lame. It's shitty, but I mean, for someone who's not in college, I am saving up for college. This is the job that is helping me go towards college because I don't want to be in debt. I was fine with it, and she brought it up and proceeded to tell me all these things, and I'm saying they're like, right, except obviously not, because yeah, but in my head I was like, right. So there's that. Oh, also later in that video, she proceeds to tell me she's not telling me this because she doesn't want me to think that they're in a tight money situation or anything, because they're doing very well with money. They're just not used to the cash flow that they're getting because they had to transfer jobs. So she's like, my husband will get a raise and then we'll be back to normal, but I'm having to budget because I want us to be able to go on the trips that we want to go on. Like, okay, so you tell me how expensive I am, tell me, but I'm not a cost, and then tell me you are in fact not hurting for money and you are still very rich, but you want to go on trips more than pay your nanny. Right. Also, when she says au pair groups, we did meet in an au pair group. I was originally going to be an au pair. She was looking for an au pair. And I said, would you be interested in having a live-in nanny? Because I'm obviously from the US. Like, I'm not an au pair. I'm not with an agency. And she said yes. So yeah. That's all I can really think of in that main video off the top of my head from what I was planning on saying in this video. There is still a lot to go over, but I can make a part 4. But yeah, the entire talk, I mean, like I said earlier, she's talking kindly, but there's no real kindness behind her words, and I don't think she was listening to listen. I think she was listening to get the conversation over with and say what she wanted to say, like bringing up the pay that I'm getting and the costs of everything. I didn't even bring that up. This was something that I think she was prepared for me to say, because I think she knows in her mind that I should be getting paid more, and she wanted to defend that. But I mean, yeah, and ever since this talk, it has been a hostile, stressful environment, and it's whatever. But there's more little details that we should go over. Start off, I'm at McDonald's, okay? So their family is extremely healthy, like the healthiest people I've ever met in my life. They work out every single day, every morning. If they don't get it in the morning, they have to work out every single day. On vacations, they bring their whole set of workout stuff. Great. I have done sports. I work out, not religiously, but you know, I'm a healthy person. And she is constantly saying, you should get on the Pilates machine. You should come work out. And not as an invitation. I genuinely think it's like a jab, because she also constantly is talking about, wow, you must really love sugar. Wow, da 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 da. It's just crazy. She comments on how I eat fast food like this all the time, and it's not in like, oh, that's just what she likes. It is in a not positive way. For example, I was helping her at a party that her friend was throwing. She asked me to come along on one of my weekends because her husband was working and she wanted help because she was bringing the kids. By help, meaning she gets drunk and I watch her children, and I don't get paid. There's that also. But So she's wine drunk and she's talking with her friends and they made dinner and I'm there. And so they're like, Lauren, you should go get in line to get some food. And I say, oh, I'm all right. I'll wait till the rest of the people get food because I don't personally know this friend. I don't know these people. It is manners to let people that are actually here for this gathering to eat first. And she goes like this as if I'm not standing right next to her. And she's like, oh, don't worry. She's going to go get McDonald's later because it's her favorite food to eat ever. She eats it every day. What is your deal? Like, hello? Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it honestly hurt my feelings because I don't eat McDonald's every day. And she's she's the healthiest person. She doesn't eat butter. They don't have sugar in their house. They don't have flour in their house. They only have multi-grain bread. And if you want to eat healthy like that, go ahead. But I don't. So just chill, axe, please. Another example. I love to bake. I don't actually like sweet things. Like, if I had to choose between getting a bag of chips and a plate of cookies, I would choose the chips just because I like salty and savory things more. But I do love to bake. I used to bake when I was stressed back home. So a few weeks ago, 2 weeks maybe, I decided I wanted to bake some cookies. Like I said, they have no flour, no sugar, no nothing. So I went and bought a huge thing of ingredients and made some chocolate chip cookies for my surrounding neighbors and stuff. I had a few left over and I offered it to them. They were like, heck no, we're not eating that, thanks. Though, like, I'm sure they're great. I said, okay, well, if you might want to give them to your kids, whatever. And they're like, hot chance, but we'll see. And so I left them on the counter. I'm not going to eat them just because I don't want to. I don't like sweet things like that. And yeah, so they sat on the counter for like 3 days, got rock hard. I was like, okay, I'm going to throw these away. I threw them away. Later that night, the kids were not eating their dinner. And so she said, if you guys eat, you can each have half of a cookie. So I said, oh, actually, they're gone. And she turned to me and she went, no way, you seriously ate all of those by yourself? No! Hello? What? Like, I don't know. Maybe she sees it as a joke, but I genuinely don't think she does. She also, when the kids went trick-or-treating for Halloween, she allowed them each like 3-4 pieces of candy, and they have huge buckets full of candy. So she came to me and she's like, I know you'd want all this, and gave me their candy. And I did eat some of it. Like, I'm not a sugar hater, but it's just not my favorite. But it's still like the principle, you know? It's like, just because I don't eat like you do doesn't mean I'm like crazy obsessed with sugar. You'd think I was like morbidly obese, walking in every single morning with a milkshake and like, I don't know, a lollipop in my hand. Like, hello? Actually, the second week I was here, I'm from Utah. Utah is obsessed with their sodas, okay? And I am obsessed with my sodas. I used to drink a Dr. Pepper every single day. I was addicted. And they didn't have any. What they have is Frescas, sparkling water, and ginger ales. 0 sugar, everything. And so I went and got myself one of the minis, not the full cans, the mini case of Dr. Pepper just for myself. And I was drinking one. She's sitting on the couch eating her salad. She pauses and turns to me and she's like, I'm sorry, do you know how much sugar is in that can? Proceeds to talk to me for like 15 minutes about how it causes obesity and diabetes, and she's a doctor, so whatever. But I'm like, great. And anytime I would drink one, she would like side-eye me a lot, and she said, I can't believe you're drinking that, I can't believe you're drinking that. And so I actually haven't had a Dr. Pepper in 6 months since I've been here, just because I'm not being judged, and whatever. Okay, I'm so sorry this video is so long. If you are still watching, I am so sorry. I didn't think it was gonna be this long. I should have made this into 2 parts, but here we are. And I don't have the time because I'm constantly working to make another one anytime soon. So yeah, if you're here, hello. Last thing I'm gonna say is I'm going to talk about gas, okay? So she said, I pay for your gas. Gas is very expensive. You pay for your gas when you go out with friends, which is true. If my friends want to go somewhere far, then I will pay. But all of my friends live within 5 to 10 minutes of me. Okay, so if I am driving, I'll put in like $5, okay? Because maybe that's how much I used. But every single day, twice a day, I am driving, well, usually twice a day. I'm driving their kids to and from school. They are in a very nice private school, which is 20 minutes away, 25, maybe 30 with traffic, okay? So she gives me $40 a month for gas. Okay, so I'm driving 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back. Whatever errand she needs me to run, I'll do. And then I do it again at the end of the day to go pick them up. My gas runs out so fast. And I brought this up only once because I didn't want to be in a fight. Whatever. Just from the way she reacted. So I said, hey, by the way, I know this is like week 2 of the month, but my gas is empty. Like, could I please get more? And she's like, we already talked about how I would be giving you $40 a month. And I was like, I know, but I don't know how I'm already out. At this point, I had 0 friends when we had this conversation, by the way. So I was going nowhere. And she's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with giving you 40 because that's what we agreed upon. I'm like, cool. So I pay for the gas for the rest of the month. And I might even be exaggerating. My gas runs out so fast. You have no idea. It's bad. So there's also that. Just kidding. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. After we had this conversation, this last one where they were saying how they were gonna look for someone else because I'm a danger with driving, whatever, which again is not true. I'm still taking the kids in the morning, but she's been saying, well, I'm gonna go get the kids, whatever. And now that I'm leaving and I genuinely love and adore her children, I said, hey, do you mind if I actually go pick up the kids? This is just one example. Do you mind if I go get the kids? I want to spend as much time with them as possible, especially with just one-on-one, like how it is when I pick them up. And she says, maybe. Okay, she takes all day to respond. She doesn't tell me if I can pick them up or not. I go to get ready to pick them up. Her husband's like, no, she's already on it, no problem. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, I can pick them up later. Since then, I have not picked them up once. They're both doctors, okay? They work, obviously. Like, when they get home, I'm off. They're off at 5, okay? You're supposed to pick up the kids between 3:30 and 4, okay? They will leave work. I will say, I'm gonna go get the boys, and they'll be like, no, we got it. Like, are you punishing me? Like, I want to spend time with your kids because I've been with them. I'm their second mom, basically their first mom, like, please. And no. So today I said I'm going to go pick up the boys because they didn't say they were going to pick them up. Husband texts, I said this in our group chat, husband texts back almost immediately, thank you so much, you're a lifesaver. Great, they're going to let me start picking them up again. I'm lacing up my shoes and he texts me, actually, work is slow, so I'm going to go get them. You can keep them entertained when I get back so I can finish my work. Right, so work is slow, so you're gonna go get them, but then you need to come back and hurry and finish your work. Sounds suspicious. Smells a little fishy, okay? So I think she texted, because she hasn't talked to me in like 3 days since that conversation, right? So she's not texting me, she's not saying anything back in the group chat. I think she texted him to tell me no. So, yeah, yay. Anyways, thank you for listening. Again, I am so unbelievably sorry that this is so long. I'm so sorry. I feel horrible. But if you're still here watching, I really appreciate all of your guys' support. I'm still not sure if I'm going to take legal action just because it could affect future jobs, and this is my job. This is what I plan on doing until I save enough for college. And who knows how long that could be, because college is very expensive and I do not want to be in debt. So yeah, but genuinely from the bottom of my heart, it really helps to have all of you say that I'm not crazy. Maybe after this video I'll be like, oh, just kidding, I am crazy, but I hope that's not the case. And yeah, so thank you all, and when more stuff happens, when I hear back from maybe this potential next job, or if anything crazy happens anymore, I will make another video. Thank you. Okay, really final last thing. I'm sorry if I have repeated anything. I'm very heated about the situation and I'm kind of sort of just yapping at this point. Also, I'm fully aware of how awkward it looked when I was scratching my neck and then looked up at the very end. I just watched that clip back. Horrible. There's a bug bite on the back of my neck and I was trying to be sincere. I'm sorry. Have a good night.